This week I focused more on the modification tools in Adobe Captivate. One thing I was able to do was to go to the skin editor and change the play bar where the fast forward play. So you can go in there and change the color. They even have an option to change the size where it's small. So I played with that a bit and found something that was bright and would stand out to the learner. One thing I did realize is that there's different types of projects. So I created an unresponsive project, and in order for the glossary to work, I had to use the last option under preview. If you are planning to use this on devices, you do need to make it a responsive project in order for it to work correctly. Hi, and welcome to Project Grad's College 101 series. College 101 assists incoming Islanders with their transition to TAMUCC. In this module, you will learn important information related to Project Grad, university resources, and most importantly, finding your place. Or as we like to say, discover your Islander impact. There's a glossary button located at the bottom of each slide. If at any point a term is used that you're unfamiliar with, please click on that button and you will be taken to an interactive glossary. Let's watch this short video to learn more about Project Grad. The glossary is located on every slide, so when a student clicks it, they'll be able to go through the terms that I've included. I did manually input all of these. As I create more slides with more content, I will create more terms with definitions. The students can click on each of them and it'll bring the definition of that particular campus resource or the terminology used. If they close the box, it'll take them to the previous slide they were on, so they'll be able to start. So the glossary is accessible on every single slide that the student is using. So here on this one, if they click glossary, it'll take them to the glossary, and then if they close it, it takes them back to where they left off at. This slide has different stop signs, and when you click it, it will take you to a matching option where the student will match terms that they've learned within the first couple of slides with the definitions. Again, the glossary is on here, so if a student is really resourceful, then they'll be able to just click on that and it can take them to the glossary. But if they don't even think about that, then they're going to keep retrying. This slide also has more terms and resources available to students. I did like the recommendation from a classmate about creating badges, so I'm going to work on incorporating that. This slide is different scenarios, but the timing on this slide is not right. It goes directly to the last slide, so I need to work on the timing. But this was an asset from eBrothers that I was able to incorporate in my slides. Going back to what I mentioned previously about having a responsive project, I did save as and created a responsive project so that I'd be able to see what it looked like on different devices. I need to work on this part of the project more because it doesn't seem to be compatible when I look at it on a phone or an iPad compared to viewing it on the desktop. The other thing that's happened with this project in the device mode is that the glossary does not work. So I'm back to square one where the glossary does not show up when you're trying to use it as a responsive project. So that's something that I'm working on. Once the preview for the device pops up, it'll show a QR code. You'll scan that with your phone or iPad. If you click the link, it'll just take you to the project the way it looks on a desktop. So in order to see what it looks like on a device, you'll actually need to scan it with a phone or an iPad. One of the toughest things is figuring out the dimensions and getting the glossary to work when it is in the device mode.
College 101.